Donna Washington. I'm the Manager of Career Counseling for Career Services, and my contact information is right there if you have any questions regarding getting a job or finding your career or figuring out a major. You want me to look at a cover letter? I'm here for you. So today we're going to talk about the steps to finding a job or internship, specifically through COVID-19, because COVID-19 has made things a lot harder, almost everything a lot harder, including finding a job, unfortunately. So I want to give you some general tips on finding a job, but also some specific strategies and resources that you can use during this time. So this is a list of the steps that you need to follow to find a job right now. Assess the labor market data. We're going to talk about that first. Identify your skills and talents and determine the best way to market them in today's economy. Nurture your network before you need them. Identify position leads and useful resources. And stay ready and persistent. A lot to go through. If you're ready, let's go. So in terms of looking at the current labor market, the most recent statistics are from July 2020. It says in our region, our MSA, our metropolitan statistical area, 9.4% unemployment rate. And then the interesting part of this, on the right-hand side, it compares it to other points in time. So it's down from 9.7, it says the last month, so in June, which is good. That means we're kind of getting better, but it's up from 4.1% from last year. So if you're having trouble finding a job or internship, that's probably why. We've more than doubled our unemployment rate in this area, unfortunately, since last year. And we know why, right? There are certain industries that are declining during COVID-19. So it's not saying that you won't get a job in these industries, but I just want you to be aware. If you're having a hard time trying to get a particular job or to work for a particular company, and it's on this list, it's because of COVID-19. These places have been hit badly with the current economy. And if you look at this list, you'll kind of see a pattern, right? It looks to me like it's a list of things that we did when we could have fun, and it wasn't necessarily a necessity, going to a restaurant, going shopping for clothes, going shopping for furniture, attending sporting events, all those things we enjoyed. Looks like those industries are the ones that are declining the most, and we know why. The one thing that sticks out on this list for me is the number 5, the dental offices. I wouldn't consider that as just something that we do for fun, that's for sure. I consider that a necessity, but when times are hard, when people don't have as much money, they kind of put off the dental offices. I feel like that would be a necessity, but if you're running out of money, you'll probably put that last when it comes to healthcare, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't the case, but that's what happens. So remember, if you're trying to find a job in these industries, it's going to be hard right now. Even motion pictures, right? We are watching at home. Netflix, great. Even the new movies are going to on demand instead of going to the movie theater. There is one that I heard that's out now that's doing okay because people are ready to go back to the movie theater. But that industry is declining. And conversely, there are some industries that are thriving right now during COVID-19. So if you want a job in these industries, you should be doing pretty well. You should have a lot of openings, a lot of demand. Of course, the grocery stores, we know they've stayed open. They're vital for us. Convenience stores are doing well. Pharmacies, for sure. People are sick, they still need their medication. Healthcare is great. Online retailers, I'm doing a lot more shopping online. If we go back to malls, we'll find out. But they're growing, the online retailers, and Amazon in particular. So if you're looking for jobs in these industries, that's a good thing. And we can talk about a strategy for that if you like. The most in-demand jobs right now, according to LinkedIn. So you have all jobs and then remote jobs. Some people are not quite ready to get out there yet and work because of COVID-19. So this list of remote jobs will give you an idea of what you can aim for if remote jobs are the plan right now. You notice a lot of IT on this list. Account executive, sales, very important. You need to know how to sell online as well as in person. All jobs that are in demand right now. Remember, we talked about the industries that are considered necessities, requirements, right? We need them no matter what. So cashiers, registered nurses, salespeople, training supervisors, especially with everything moving online. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to what those new jobs are and keeping your skills up so that you can be prepared. The fastest growing demand jobs. So these are the fastest growing ones. We think, you know what? The number of openings for these is going to increase exponentially. And you can see for yourself on the right, I know there's a lot of management jobs, accounting managers, sales managers, a lot of sales, software engineer. But then on the left-hand side, same deal. Software, customer assistant, financial, taxes. These people will be considered very important as we move forward with our new economy because of COVID-19. Step number 2, identify your skills and talents and determine the best way to market them in today's economy. We have a tool that we use here at Lone Star College-Kingwood. It's called the Focus 2 Career Assessment. Now, the idea with this is that you will complete this on your own, and you'd be absolutely honest and answer all these questions about yourself. They ask you what you value, what you're good at, what you think you're not good at, what you need to improve on, what you do in your free time, just a lot of questions about you and who you are, because you need to determine what you're looking for if the plan is to look for a job. You can't just apply to any and everything because that's not going to work. You're going to be frustrated. The person reading your resume is going to be frustrated. Wonder, why did you apply for this job if it has nothing to do with your past experience, nothing to do with where you want to go? So it's a vital piece of the puzzle that you know who you are and what you are looking for and that it fits you as a person. You do want to look at the labor market to see what it's like out there and what your chances are in certain industries, but you can't base your decision solely on the industry. You have to inject that part of who you are when you try to select a career or a job. So remember I told you, it asks you all these different questions about yourself. It's very easy. You can do it on your phone if you want. The work interests, personality, leisure, values, and your skills assessment as well. So you just answer those. It could be on your phone. You're in line somewhere or you're waiting for your class to start. You can do one piece at a time, but I would do all of them so that you can combine it together and see what the results are and which occupations are suggested. And after you find out what those occupations are that are suggested to you from the Focus 2, you will contact me and we'll talk about the results and what it could mean. And I'm always going to say, when you're looking for a job, you need to be flexible, right? You need to be flexible with the job titles, with the industries that you're thinking of going into. And a way to be flexible during your job search is to focus on what's called transferable skills. Transferable skills are those skills that you would take with you anywhere. So if you had a job as a cashier and you're great with interpersonal skills and speaking to people, you're not going to leave that home. You're going to use that skill, right? Even if you work on the computer all day and then you start to interact with people, If you have interpersonal skills, you're going to take that with you anywhere, no matter where you go. So thanks to our friends again at LinkedIn, you can see the top 5 soft skills and the top 10 hard skills. Anybody know the difference? Thank you for answering that. So we have one response that soft skills are more character-based. And I see what you mean, yes. So those wouldn't be as easy to test, on a test, for example. A multiple choice test. You can't really tell, is this person persuasive? You wouldn't know that. You would have to kind of look at them in the work environment. Are they persuasive? Are they creative? Can they work with people? And those are the top 5 soft skills that are needed. Now, hard skills, those would be the opposite, right? Right, thank you again. Hard skills are things that you learn, like degrees, computer skills, Excel, QuickBooks, thank you for that. Yes, so hard skills is a little bit easier to measure. Now, most of the hard skills on this list for LinkedIn look like they're computer related. Blockchain, don't ask me what that is, but it's computer related. UX design, sales, that I recognize. Of course, that would be a top 10 hard skill. Video production. So you need to focus on transferable skills like that, especially if you're going to kind of be mobile during the market when things are changing in terms of industry, in terms of jobs, and even jobs are changing how they're operating. A lot of them are using the computer more. But if you have those transferable skills, then you won't have as much of a problem when you're trying to find a job. So again, I am from Career Services. This is just a look at our website. And the address is at the bottom right there of the slide. We offer a lot of daily services to help you. And one of the things that people have trouble with when they're trying to find a job is coming up with a strategy. So I can help you with that if that's the problem. They'll say, I have these skills, I have this degree, I think I want to go into this, but how do I get there? So we can absolutely talk one-on-one. So I want you to know that we are one of your resources when it comes to your job search. Nurture your network before you need them. Anybody know what a network is? Everything on this slide is your network. And when I say nurture them before you need them, I mean, you should be in contact with these people anyway. I hate when people call me because they need something. And that's the only reason they're calling me. Like friends, I'm talking in terms of friends, family, maybe old acquaintances. You haven't spoken to them in 6 months, but magically they need a job where you are working now. So then they call you and say hello and try to catch up. And then they get to the point, somebody's agreeing with me. And then they get to the point of, oh yes, I need a job and they're hiring. Can you put in a good word? That's not authentic. And it's not going to help you. So don't do that. When I say nurture your network, I mean you need to already be talking to them, care about them, ask real questions and be involved in their lives. Don't just pop up after 6 months of not speaking to them. Very rude. So in terms of what a network is, it's everything on this slide. Family and friends, hobbies and sports, careers and jobs. Anybody you meet within this circle, that is your network. You want to kind of analyze your network to see how your network can help you with finding a job. Remember, you're nurturing them already, so this shouldn't feel like, oh no, who can I use? It's who can help me that I can in turn help. You're going to pass it along, basically. So analyze your network. Who do you know? You know more people than you think you do. Some people have to write this down. That's fine. But who do you know? Where have they worked? Who are their friends? Where do their friends work? Who do you know with a connection at your target company? Those are the things that you're thinking about when you're thinking of your network in terms of finding a job or internship. Now, some people have a problem with the networking because we don't see the same people every day that we normally see because we're working from home or we're taking classes from home, but you can still network remotely. People really, they don't realize that you're actually networking when you're in class too. People don't realize that, but you are. If there's a student who's in class who's never paying attention, you're going to remember them. And then eventually when you graduate from here and you go on and you do great things and get a great job, if that person comes to you for a job, you're going to remember how they were in class, right? So you're networking right now and you may not even realize it. So I want you to kind of think about that going forward, with your best foot forward. So how do you network remotely? You stay in contact with former colleagues. Remember, just because you left the job doesn't mean you leave the relationships. You want to keep those going. You also want to build relationships with current colleagues. If you're working in an office and you're shut off from everybody, that's not the best way of building your network. You want to interact with people, see how they're doing, help them when they need help. Hopefully they'll return the favor, but the idea is that you're building relationships with your current colleagues. You can even attend virtual events and meet new colleagues. Anybody been to a virtual career fair yet? Good. There are a bunch coming up too, and make sure you go to our Instagram because I listed a few for you. If you're going to one tomorrow, well, good luck. Make sure that you look at our Instagram. There are a lot coming up, okay? Attend those events, meet new colleagues, even if, it doesn't work necessarily with the position with the company, but you meet the representative of the company and you have, you make a good impression, that's good. That could help you in the future. So make sure you get those business cards when you're at that meeting. And in terms of virtually, same thing. You can get a virtual business card or just make sure you get their contact information. Also, join social media groups. That's very important because people get to know you in more of a impersonal, they feel like, way because you're sharing your opinion about things or you're giving information or you're sharing articles that pertain to the industry that you want to get into. People on LinkedIn are very good with this. Join those groups on LinkedIn. You can even do a search of the groups on LinkedIn and see what the group is, if it's something for your industry, something for students in your industry, people in your area. Just make sure you interact within those groups. So what do I say to these strangers? That's a question I get a lot too. I'm supposed to network with people. What do I say? There's something called an elevator pitch that you should be thinking of and crafting if your plan is to find a job. So an elevator pitch is kind of like a short introduction of who you are. It's not, let me run down my whole resume. It's just very quick. So for example, if you look at this graphic, a quick introduction. Your name, the college you graduated from, the degree that you're pursuing or that you have earned, what you're seeking, that's important, your experience level that you have now, which is why it's a good idea to get volunteer experience, internship experience, just something if you don't have the work experience, but something in that field so that you can share that during your elevator pitch. And what can you offer? What skills and how can you benefit the organization? That is very important. Well, here's another tip. I don't know if you attended my presentation yesterday, but on a resume, we don't have objectives anymore. Anybody know why? No clue. Okay, I will tell you then. On resumes, we don't have objectives anymore because objectives don't tell the employer how you're going to contribute to them. Objectives tell the employer what you want and what you need, and it doesn't really give them information that they care about, to be honest. right? Usually objectives say something like, oh, I want a position at a strong company that gives me wonderful benefits and lets me pursue my passion. They don't really care about that. What they care about is what you could contribute to their organization. So that's why you would provide a professional summary, for example, instead of an objective on a resume. So same thing here with this elevator pitch. When you're meeting these strangers and you're joining these social media groups, just a quick introduction, a quick elevator pitch, and now you get to type it. So that makes it even better. If you were meeting them in person, you'd kind of have to have this in your brain and just kind of say it on demand and very quickly. So you get to actually think about and type the elevator pitch now. So you're lucky. But this is the basic structure for it, okay? Now, in terms of LinkedIn, I hope everybody's on there. Is everybody on LinkedIn? Just shoot me a Y or N in the chat. Yes, good, yes. More yeses than no's, thank you. Good. If you're not on LinkedIn, you need to. You need to be, because it is a great combination of networking and social media together. We want to meet people, we want to find a job, LinkedIn is the way to go for that. As you can see, I am on LinkedIn. I want you all to try to find me, okay, and make a connection. I'm usually kind of picky about who I connect with on LinkedIn. But if you're in this presentation here and you find me, I'm going to accept and we're going to be connected. And I want you to kind of look at my profile, see how it's set up. Let me know if you have any questions. When I accept yours, I'll also take a look at it as well. But it's very important to use LinkedIn for your networking. Identify position leads and useful resources. Make sure you're taking notes during this part, okay? So there's this quote that I appreciated and I posted it on our Instagram maybe a couple weeks ago. It's about the purposeful use of social media, because nowadays people kind of think of social media as a time waster and why are you doing that instead of looking for a job? But I think what he had to say is very relevant to the job search nowadays. Don't use social media less, use it more intentionally. Follow people who inspire and motivate you. Engage with experts you can learn from. Create genuine positive friendships. Just stop mindlessly scrolling, complaining, hating, and engaging in negativity and bitterness. What you think of that quote? I agree with it. If you're looking for a job or internship, you have to do the things that he's describing. You don't want to be mindless about how you're using social media. You want to be strategic. Who am I following? Which hashtags am I following? Is there a company I'm targeting? Maybe I need to follow them. I need to follow them on LinkedIn. I also need to follow them on Facebook. There's a person who's a great connector in my network. I need to make sure that I'm letting them know what I need, but offering to help them and keeping up with them on social media. You also want to get rid of the negativity. That is very hard for some people, especially if you're hearing no, or my favorite, you don't have enough experience, even though you're just starting out and you're trying to get the experience. I hear that a lot in my office. So it's difficult, but you have to put the negativity aside. Just stay persistent, keep going. I know it's hard to believe it, but it will work out the way it's supposed to work out for you. So if you get rid of that negativity, that will not hinder your job search. And speaking of social media, I want you to know where to find us. I wonder where most of you found me. How did you find out about this presentation? Type that in the chat for me. But we just hit 500 followers on Instagram. So for a lot of people, it was Instagram, and that's how they found us. Oh, a lot of people got the email. Good. All right, the email's working. Good. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, so wherever you need us, Facebook, we're there. So the idea is to just stay in contact with us so you can know what's happening, which job fairs are happening, when the other presentations are occurring. So thank you for being here today. So in terms of resources, we have something called Career Star that we're offering. Career Star is primarily a job board that we offer to our students and alumni so that you can find a position. So if you don't have a profile on Career Star, the address is at the bottom of the slide. Make sure you do that. You can post your resume, you can look for jobs, you can also research the different professions and find out about them. I love Career Star because the employers in the area understand that Lone Star College is the college. So they give us the jobs. They don't necessarily put it on Indeed because they don't want people who aren't qualified to apply. So they'll just give it to us because they trust us in terms of training you, and they know our students are going to work hard. So I would definitely use Career Star if I'm looking for a job or internship, because already there are so many people, first of all, who aren't using Career Star and don't know about it, which is terrible. But also you're kind of getting rid of those other people who apply on Indeed and places like that. So it's a smaller pool of applicants. So make sure you get on Career Star. Now, another plus about Career Star, I'm giving you the inside scoop. So that secret that's within Career Star. On the left-hand side, so let's pretend you're looking for computer systems analyst positions. You can click on that job title. At the bottom, you see companies posting jobs. You see that bottom left? Deloitte, Accenture, Robert Half. You see what the companies are that are posting jobs with that position in this area. Isn't that nice? So already you have a list of companies to target for those positions in this area. On the right-hand side, you see employment projections. Always good to know, right? We were talking about the market data. But then if you look below that, top posted job titles. This is a gift, because a lot of people will say, I'm looking for a system analyst job. So those are the only keywords that they use when looking for their job. System analyst. Well, what if a company wants a system analyst, but they don't call them system analysts? This happens a lot. So you should include in your job search, when we were talking about flexibility, you need to think about these job titles. So look at the other ones. There are 4 others listed here that this person could be eligible for, but they're not searching with those keywords because they didn't kind of expand their mind, think outside the box. You have to read these job descriptions all the way. There are so many different job titles that do the same thing. Now, in terms of targeting companies, make sure you get this. Take a picture of this slide or write it down or go to this website. But this is great. In terms of targeting companies in our local area, you can target by location. You can also target by industry. Okay, so here's a list of the largest 100 Houston area employers. And this isn't the whole list. This is what's on the slide. I want you to go to the actual document to get all of them. But as you can see, they're listed by how many employees are at each company. Look at Lone Star College there. So if the plan is to find a job or internship, I want to go somewhere that's stable, that has a lot of employees, seems kind of vital to this area. I would probably target some of the companies on this list. If you happen to live near, I don't know, Lone Star College or near a hospital that's in the HCA family, even better, right? Because I know a lot of people care about how long their commute is, but you need to kind of be flexible and open with that too. If you're thinking, I want to work in this little town right next to where I live, sometimes the job is outside of that. So make sure when you're targeting your company that you're realistic. Open up those parameters. Now, internship resources. How many people here are looking for an internship? Shoot me a Y or an N in the chat. All right. So this slide, this is golden for you. Okay, Texas Internship Challenge. That's a great website because the state of Texas wants you to get an internship too. Isn't that nice? So they offer paid and unpaid internships in a lot of different fields. You would just go to this site, you can search by whatever it is that you're looking for. You can tell it which area you want the internship to be in, and it'll give you a list. And then you just follow the instructions and apply for the internship. Same thing with USA Jobs. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's the federal job website. They have a lot of internships too. Sometimes they email me and they let me know that they have some that they specifically want, our students to get, and then I send that out to you. But USA Jobs has a lot of federal jobs and internships. You want to check them out. I have a question. Are there any remote internships? Yes, absolutely. So you definitely want to check all of these sites for those. So even internships that weren't remote before may be remote now. So make sure you check. That's a very good question. Thank you. So there are great internships there. Chegg just bought internships.com. So that's the new name. Indeed, we're familiar with that for jobs, but they have internships as well. Hire Houston Youth, same thing. If you're in that, I think it's 18 to 24 range, it's on the website. Just Hire Houston Youth is what you would search for. Houston wants you to find an internship. Inroads, that is kind of, when I think of internships and college students, Inroads is kind of at the pinnacle, I think. They've been doing this for a long time. They get you internships at really good companies. Their graduates kind of fit seamlessly into the businesses that they go to work. So Inroads is great. United Way, people don't think about this. That's why I included the link on this slide. United Way has a job bank, a community job bank. You can look for jobs, but you can also look for internships, and you can look for volunteer opportunities. Another great resource is your local workforce solutions office. I hear pros and cons of our local workforce solutions office, I'm going to be honest, but I have been in some of their presentations and met some of the people who work there. And they are very helpful people, and they care a lot about you. And they said that you can set up kind of private sessions with them to learn more about their resources. So I would suggest that if you want to use your local workforce solutions, kind of talk with somebody one-on-one. On their website, they have a list of hiring events, and that's very useful. You can find out the date and times if it's virtual. To see the first one, Clear Harbor's virtual hiring event, and make sure you attend that. Make sure you follow them as well on social media. And then they have their list of jobs for the state in workintexas.com. That includes internships. So make sure you go to that website as well. And then there are some people at home who say, I think it's time to branch out. It's time to start a side hustle. It's time to get that business off the ground that I've been thinking about doing, but I've been too busy with my 9 to 5. Now I don't have that 9 to 5. I need to start thinking long term. So there are some people who treasure entrepreneurship, and there are some people who say it's not for them. But I want you to consider it. Especially my people who say that they want autonomy and they don't necessarily want a boss, or they don't necessarily want to do the standard 9 to 5 or hours like that. In reality, as an entrepreneur, you're going to probably work longer hours, but I want you to think of entrepreneurship as an option. Even if it's a business that you do alongside another job that you have, it's something that's yours will make you feel wonderful. So if opportunity doesn't knock, you build a door, according to Milton Berle. And I agree with that. Maybe you're not finding the job that you want. Maybe it doesn't exist. Maybe it hasn't been created yet. So you'll be the one to create that. And if you are interested in entrepreneurship, either now for your life or maybe later on in the future, here are some resources to help you get a small business off the ground. This can even be an online business if you want it to be, okay? We have a business development, which is by far my favorite on this slide. And they help you free of charge. You want to do a business plan. If you have a business and it's struggling, they can help you with that. You need ideas for marketing. If you can't figure out how to get the funds to start your business, maybe there's some grants you don't know about, they will help you with all of this for free. So make sure you seek them out. And these other resources as well. They have resources that are free, but some of them do charge. So I would just kind of go to their websites and see what they offer that are free. But if you're interested in potentially starting your own business or a side hustle or something later down the line or now, you want it to be legal and set up the right way, have your LLC going, they can help you with all of that. So there's some special considerations that I want you to think about. So if you've been laid off, and I'm hearing a lot of that, unfortunately, in my email, and I feel bad for people. I want you to increase your skill set while you're looking for a job. Maybe you're not as comfortable with Microsoft Word or Office as you should be. So let's use this time while we're looking for a job to maybe take some classes online or go through a software program and figure out how to use it. If you're changing careers, focus on your transferable skills and make the connection easy for the employer. So a lot of people make a resume and then they think they're done. You're not done. You have to tailor your resume based on whatever the job is that you're applying to. So if you're a career changer, that means you have to use the language in your resume that it's easy for the employer that you want to understand and why you're a great fit for that new career or new job. If you're a new graduate, you're going to have to stay motivated and definitely network. That's going to be to your advantage if you network, because that's how you're going to hear about the positions before they even get advertised, but you have to stay motivated. Don't let this economy get you down. Now, if you're not ready to work outside the home, consider entrepreneurship, like we said. Seek work from home opportunities as well. Anybody looking for work from home opportunities? Okay, there are. So there is a website called the Rat Race Rebellion that's very famous in terms of work at home opportunities because they kind of vet them. You don't want to get stuck in a scam for a work from home opportunity. So Rat Race Rebellion is known for their release. Oh, this hotel chain is looking for people to work from home in customer service. And they'll release it and then they'll have to pull it back because so many people apply for the job. So you have to definitely be on social media for those types of jobs to kind of see what is out there, okay? So Rat Race Rebellion. Also join the groups that are on Facebook, for example. They have a lot of jobs for people who say they work at home moms or dads, and they share resources, jobs in this area. There are places, of course, like Amazon and other places that are into people working from home. If you're in education, there's a lot of tutoring from home happening. Customer service jobs for sure. Just you kind of have to keep your eyes open and get into the social media the way that we talked about earlier. If you've been incarcerated, there are resources to help you get a job as well. So there's some re-entry programs that you can go to on the website for Houston for sure. And I am an offender employment specialist. So if you contact me, of course confidential, and you let me know what you're looking for, what you need, we can talk about some strategies. If you're described as an immigrant or a refugee or underserved, there's a place called the Alliance in Texas, which is great. They have a great financial opportunity center. That's wonderful. That'll work with you in terms of balancing your money and making sure that everything's okay there. If you're seeking education, you're going to go to Lone Star College, but they will also talk you through your plan if you need that. If you have a disability and you need work, or you know somebody who has a disability and is having a hard time finding a job, Goodwill Industry is a great place to go. Even Workforce Solutions, they also have a what do they call it, vocational rehabilitation section of their company. That's wonderful. If you served in the military, the Workforce Solutions will help you with that. We even have a Veteran Center also here at Lone Star College. There are a lot of resources. So contact me if you're a veteran in particular and you need a job as well. Step number 5 for finding a job or internship, you need to stay prepared and persistent. So you can use this resource. Please do. Accountability and follow-up is very important when you're looking for a job. Some people will say, nobody's calling me, this is taking forever, I don't have an internship, I don't have an interview. Well, you have to think about how much work you're putting into finding this job or internship, right? People say it's a full-time job, looking for a job. You ever heard that? Well, that can be true. So you have to figure out, okay, how I'm going to hold myself accountable. Am I doing a schedule like this here on the screen of what I'm going to do each day and who I'm going to follow up with and which jobs I've applied to and keeping track of that? Maybe you want to do a weekly list or planner with your job search, or maybe a combination of both. I don't know, but you have to think of a way to keep yourself accountable. If there's been a whole week and you've applied to one job and then you're disappointed, you have to start thinking, okay, who are you disappointed in? You have to put in the work. There should be more than one job that you've applied to that pertains to you in terms of your skills and talents. There should be more than one. And if you need help figuring that out, again, Career Services, I can help you with that. And just some more details about staying prepared and persistent. You need to update your job search document. If you have a general resume, a general cover letter, those are great. But remember, you have to tailor them based on the positions that you're applying for, but you need to keep them ready. At least have those general ones kind of ready so that when you need to tailor them, it doesn't take you as long and you can apply immediately to the positions that become available. Or if you meet someone who says, you know what, you've made a great impression, I loved your elevator pitch, send me your resume, I'm going to see what I can do for you. You need to have that ready. You can't say, oh, I'll get back with you in 2 weeks when I've finished my resume. No, have it ready. Practice interview questions and techniques. You need to practice this ahead of time. Again, so if somebody says, John gave me your resume and said you were fantastic, so I'm just going to call you in tomorrow and make sure that you'll be a great fit for our company. You can't say, okay, I need a week or so to get ready for this. You need to stay ready. I have a question in the chat. So what if I'm applying for an internship and they ask for my resume? Should I always include a cover letter or should I just submit the resume? Very good question. So I would first start by reading the description and looking at what they're asking for. They say resume for sure, great, we know we're doing a resume. Now, in terms of cover letter, there are some employers that'll write, do not include extra documents, do not include a cover letter, do not add anything else. And I would listen to what they're saying. Don't do that. You need to follow directions. If they're not clear on that, there are some people in the school of you always do a cover letter, and as long as it's not working against you, I don't see anything wrong with doing a cover letter. If you feel like, I have this strong cover letter and I am great and very conversational and persuasive in this, I'm going to include it every time, do that. But if maybe writing isn't your strong suit and you misspell words all the time and you haven't had someone like me read your cover letter to check for mistakes and you think it's a good thing, but it ends up not being a great thing, I wouldn't include a cover letter. So I guess the short, quick answer for that would be, it could make you stand out if you have a wonderful cover letter. So yes, it'll show that you're willing to take the extra step, go the extra mile, and include a cover letter, and maybe there's something in it that'll connect the employer with you. So yeah, I would do a cover letter. In particular, especially for a job where written communication is going to be very important, I would do a cover letter, because you want to give them that sample of your writing, but you also want to appeal to them and kind of explain even more than your resume would why you're a great fit for this job. So it may not be easy for them to tell from the resume, but you should try to make it easy for them. It may not be easy because maybe you're a student and you're just starting, but you can give them a little bit of background and why you've chosen this industry in your cover letter. So yes, do your cover letter. Good question. Interview attire. Make sure it's clean and pressed and ready to go. You don't want to set up an interview that's the next morning and then you don't have any interview attire that fits in your closet, especially now. But that's, working through a quarantine, you may not be able to fit your interview attire. So you need to make sure that you can fit it, it's clean, and it's pressed and ready to go. You get called for something tomorrow morning, you're ready. Check your email and your voicemail daily. And you need to make sure that people can leave messages. Okay, I hate when I call someone for an interview and it says their voicemail is full. Okay, so what do you want me to do with that? I have to make a note and call you back later, or do I go to the next person who has their voicemail ready? Same thing with the message about, this person isn't accepting calls right now. Okay, that's fine. Next person on the list. If plan is to be hired for a job or internship, people need to be able to communicate with you and reach you. Check your email and your voicemail daily. And in terms of email, that professional email, not that one that you use that you've had for 50 years that talks about your personality or something that employers don't care about. Nice and simple, professional email. Make sure you check the junk mail, because you never know. Also make sure it's not a scam, but check your junk mail, check your standard inbox. You just need to be ready. Also make sure you network daily if the goal is to find a job or internship. You never know who you're going to meet. You can do this networking remotely. We talked about that with LinkedIn. You can speak to people in groups and virtual gatherings, but you need to try to kind of have a goal each day to kind of network. Maybe you're meeting somebody new, or you're writing a comment in a group that you've never participated in before, but you need to make that a goal. And check advertised positions for your target companies daily. If you say, you know what, this is the company for me, I just have to work at Lone Star College, all right, then you need to check Lone Star College's website, employment website. I would do it every day. People have even set up alerts so that they can be alerted when a particular job comes in, and that's great too. But I personally prefer to check, because we were talking about flexibility with titles and jobs, right? Especially now. So I want to look at the list myself and determine what's valid in terms of what I want. And you also have to stay positive. Remember, we talked about no negativity. Negativity can be felt. I can feel it when people walk in my office for an interview. I can feel it when I'm on the phone with them and they're kind of hesitant, like they have been turned down before and they're assuming I'm going to do the same thing. It just kind of, it spoils it for you. So you need to stay positive. I don't know what that is for you. Maybe you need to listen to music. Maybe you just need to take some time to yourself, even after rejection letters, things like that. Positivity is key. So there are some upcoming career services events after this one. Thank you for participating in this one. Our next one for September is the virtual interview like a pro. I don't know if you've had a virtual interview yet. That's an interview on the phone or online through Skype or WebEx or something, but we can help you with that. And that will be September 22nd. So you can go to the link in our Instagram, or you can make a note of what's on the screen here if you'd like to go to that. Just reading the chat. Okay. If you have any questions, make sure you drop those. Thank you so much for listening to me go on about finding a job or internship. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat, or you can write me at kingwood.careerservices@lonestar.edu, and I will answer those. Sometimes people have private questions, and that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Be sure to follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like this video, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button to be notified about our latest content.